I've always been a little obsessed with trains, especially when I was travelling around Australia because we saw trains of all sorts, from massive coal freight trains, commuter trains, and even the heritage steam engines at the rural towns. Something about them just stuck with me. These days, games like Railway Empire 2 on Switch are my go-to way to zone out, because I find a calming rhythm to watching things unfold on the tracks, and I find it oddly therapeutic. Deck builders, on the other hand, are a newer obsession, and I'm still finding my footing in the genre, but I've come to love the challenge of learning new systems and trying out different combinations. Ironically, the first one that got its hooks into me was Monster Train 2. So, when a game like Battle Train shows up, combining strategic card play with a full-blown train battleground, well, that concept is just pretty much a match made in heaven for me. What's it like? Get your suitcase, find your platform, and all aboard as we review Battle Train for Nintendo Switch.
Let's play some Battle Train!
Now, this review is based on footage captured on an original Nintendo Switch system, which is the platform the game was built for. That said, I'll include a short section about how it performs on the Switch 2 as well for anyone curious. At its core, Battle Train is a deck builder crossed with a fighting game. Each round plays out on a battlefield divided into a grid where you lay down tracks, expand towards strategic assets like gem mines, and eventually connect to your opponent's outpost to blow it sky high. It's turn-based, but every turn has urgency, and every misstep is a tactical opening for your rival. You're given a limited pool of resources for each turn, and each card has a resource cost, which you can stretch further by connecting to gem mines out in the field. Your deck includes track pieces, ability cards, and environmental hazards, and choosing the right moment to play each one is actually half of the fun. Track placement is simple, but the strategy lies in how you use the board. You can actually hijack enemy tracks, build obstacles to force them into spending precious resources to go around them, or set up powered tracks for extra damage when you launch your assault. Once you've built a line to their outpost, you send that train for a powerful strike. After that, your station goes on cooldown and it gives both players a few turns to regroup and rebuild before the next charge. The game only gets more strategic from here. Pitfalls can block track placement for several turns, blockades stop progress unless cleared, and powered tracks boost damage. Every run is different, and even when you lose, and you will, you'll unlock new cards and train parts that help you edge closer to victory on the next run. Outside of battle, there's a classic roguelike structure where you chart a branching path with different battle types, event encounters, and item shops, all leading towards many boss fights. Defeating bosses earns you train upgrades that can carry over onto future runs, and it gives you a sense of progression even when you get derailed. What really gives the game personality though is its sense of humour, because Battle Train is framed like a documentary/reality TV hybrid, kind of like The Office meets Nickelodeon's Loud House. Some jokes genuinely land, like the prize for losing your first run being a Battle Train board game, so you can, quote, practice losing at home. And the game's very self-aware enough to be funny without sliding into the try-hard slapstick territory. The only shortfall though is the reliance on this story mode means sometimes you can make it to the end and not be able to challenge the main boss, instead starting a new run for further exposition. It wasn't a deal breaker in any sense, but it may be frustrating for some players. However, it does all come together in a tight, weird, and really clever gameplay loop. The more you play, the more options you unlock, and the more you want to jump back in for just one more run. Visually, Battle Train keeps things simple, with an art style that feels straight out of a Saturday morning cartoon, mixing 2D and 3D hybrids. Characters are exaggerated caricatures with big expressions and over-the-top movements, and they're all full of personality. It gives the whole game a humorous charm that matches the game's mockumentary tone perfectly. Battles in the environments are a bit more minimal, and there's a hand-drawn quality to the world that feels almost like a board game come to life. It doesn't have all the flashy bells and whistles that you might see in a more high-budget strategy game, but it doesn't really need them either, as it knows what it's going for, and it works. For the most part, Battle Train runs smoothly on the original Nintendo Switch. The controls are responsive, the load times are short, and the game feels stable from start to finish. That said, there are a few small hiccups, most noticeably with a slight hitch when you send out your train for attack. It's not a frame rate drop exactly, it's more like the game has to pause for a moment to think. And it doesn't really break the flow or affect the gameplay, but it is noticeable enough to stand out. Aside from that, the rest of the experience feels very polished. I didn't run into any crashes or major bugs, and the overall presentation felt cohesive and well put together. On Switch 2, that small attack hitch disappears completely, and that's really the only difference between the two platforms. The game doesn't take major advantage of the newer hardware, but if you are playing on the Switch 2, you're getting the smoothest possible version by default. For my train conductors looking into accessibility, I'm pleased to report that Battle Train includes a few thoughtful features that make the ride smoother for players. The game offers 3 different colorblind modes, and you can even adjust the strength of each filter to suit your vision. It also has a rewind and fast forward mechanic for cutscenes, which is great if you miss a line or just want to skip chatter and repeat runs. Full touchscreen support is available in handheld mode, making it easier to navigate menus and place cards. But it is worth noting that some actions like rotating track pieces still require a press on the Joy-Con. As always, I recommend further research to find out if Battle Train suits your needs. At $30 Australian, Battle Train delivers a fantastic time with a strong gameplay loop, smart mechanics, and just the right dash of humour. It strikes a balance between strategy and silliness that works surprisingly well, and each run offers a different path, encounters, and outcomes to keep things fresh. Whether you're in for the challenge, the laughs, or just the joy of laying tracks and blowing things up, there's plenty of value here for the price. Battle Train might seem like a quirky concept at first. With its deck building, track laying, and reality show humour, it comes across as a bit of an odd mix. But even in its opening run, it just clicks. The strategy depth, the addictive loop, and the surprisingly sharp writing make it one of the more memorable titles I've played in a while. And I think games that take risks and offer up unique experiences like Battle Train should be applauded. It's not the flashiest game on the Switch in terms of visual, and it has the odd performance quirk, but those are easy to overlook when the core gameplay is this strong. Whether you're a fan of card games, trains, or just something a little bit different, Battle Train is well worth the ticket to ride. So, what's it like? Battle Train is like Railway Empire crossed with Monster Train. I award it an 80 out of 100. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by the publisher, but this doesn't influence my score. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out whatsitlike.com.au.